Hey, good day to all of you. My name is Blair and welcome to another OS operating system. Today we're gonna take a look into Zorin OS Ed, which means it's educational. And it is version 17.3. This type of operating system is focusing on education. So let's try to check into this as we go to the website. The website is zorin.com and let's try to go to the OS. So let's try to click Zorin OS Education. Let's learn about this Zorin OS Education. So this one is Zorin OS 17.3 Education, the 21st century learning operating system. We believe the computer has power to make learning better and more impactful. That's why we created Zorin OS Education. It helps prepare students with the skills, even need to understand the world of today and build their world for tomorrow. Let's click this one. Let's just download it and it will pop up. So you could download it and click save. So let's open our boxes, which is our virtual machine for our demonstration for our Zorin OS Education. And of course, let's open our ISO and let's try to look into the ISO file. Where is Zorin OS 17.3 Education? So let's make our virtual. Let's put the ed for the education. And instead of like 2 gigabytes of random access memory, we'll give it like 8. And storage space about like maybe 50. And then let's create. So let me maximize this one so that you will not get confused. So you have options right here. If you're not like techie and it's just you want to install it in your modern computer, then just click enter. So this is the live boot and you have the option to like look into this as a trial mode, or you could like install it into your computer or virtual machine. So you have the options right here. For example, I just want to like click right here on the trial. I'm just gonna click that one. Let's try to fix the display first. Okay, so this is the trial mode, which is a live boot. You could also click this one if you want to set into your computer as a installed into your computer. Let me see. It's basically like your Windows, right? So that is how Zorin OS 17.3 education version. So let's try to install it so that we could like look into the default installation after you install it. So let's try to install. So you're asked for your language, so whatever language you want to use, you could like click right here. Espanol, Italiano, you also have Portuguese, or maybe Turkish, Tagalog, well, or maybe Bahasa Indonesia, Bahasa Malayo, or if you are German, you could use Dutch. So let's continue. I'll use English for this demonstration. And you have the keyboard layout and your like what kind of English are you using? English UK, English USA. So I'll just gonna use English USA for this demonstration. So next up, you have the option to update other software during the installation while you're like the third-party software for your graphics, Wi-Fi hardware, and additional for your videos and music, which is your media. So I'll just gonna continue next. So you have the option right here if you want to have the installation the whole disk or something else, or if you have Windows, it will in between or on the bottom right here. It will say alongside installation with Windows. So for now, I'll just gonna use the whole storage space for all of this. Okay, so let's continue. Next, install now. Now it will just gonna confirm if this setup is okay. I'll just gonna click continue. I'm okay with that. And if you are not somewhere else, like for example the location is not in your location, well, you could like click on the map. For example, I'm here in Houston, Texas, so I'll just gonna click that one. Oh, so Houston, Texas is also like that, so it is based in Chicago. Or for example, I'm here in the Philippines, I could change that to Iloilo if I wanted to. Iloilo City, Philippines. Yes, I could change that one. Continue next, and it will ask you for your computer name. I'll be using my brand name, which is Rialbbe, and my password, probably I'm gonna give it like just several characters for the password. For now, this is just only for testing, so I recommend you, if you have some really like in your hardware, I recommend to let you install the password about like 6, and it will be like having some special characters at the same time so that it will be safer. Okay, and click continue, and it will install it by itself, which is the AI. Before, we don't have the AI in Linux. Wow, you really like have to install everything by your own. It will be like a scratch. It will be like asking you for different types, like your format, if it is gonna be ext 4 5 something like that, or even the btfs format, or maybe keyboards and all those stuff. Even like the desktop environment, it will be asked what kind of installation. So right now it is much better because of the AI. Well, AI in Linux, it was way back then. I think started around like 2011 2013 something ish. So yeah, we have AI back then. Now it's just almost everything, everywhere, you're using AI. So congratulations. You born with AI already, but the real stuff you don't know. Yeah, that's the bad thing. That's a downside for the AI. You don't know what's really going on. If there's AI everything, oh no, you'll be like, you don't know what's going on. Like even like our food, if we have all the processed food, like you just go to the 7-Eleven or a convenience store or a sari-sari store, well, you will be confused with real food already. Like if you have plants, and then you will be asked what is this, and then of course some of our educational stuff right now, it's just only cartoons, no real pictures anymore. Well, that is the problem. So I think we'll go back to basic for that one. I really feeling sad. Even my some of my students, some of my cousins, oh man, they didn't know what's real food anymore. They just sometimes see it like spaghetti already. It's already been cooked. It's already been processed. Well, just like right here, even in our technology, in our computers, they are just like really like, oh no, they really don't know. And then sometimes in the proprietary software, you have to pay 1,000 pesos, 1,000 baht, just like a very big company. Sometimes they really pay a lot. They didn't know that it's already like free. Too bad, right? So let's wait for the installation to complete, and let's wait. So we need to enter our super secret password, which is this is the initial boot after we install it. The downside of the Zorin OS educational version is that you have to have a very good computer. This is not for the old type of computers. So this is the downside of the Zorin educational 17.3 operating system. It is very heavy. Oh my gosh. Installing it's 30 minutes. I think more than 30 minutes, and I just want to cut the video short. Well, that is the downside. And as you can see, when I move the mouse, it is not responding like fast. It is like waiting for some second, maybe I think a second, yeah, or 0.5 seconds. So that is a downside. I could not recommend this for old computers. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is the welcome page, welcome app. So let's start the tour. So they have the same like launcher for the apps, and then oh my, okay, we are greeted with this one. I'll just gonna install it. So this is the welcome app. It has the same with the Windows. So you could like use the menu, and then let's click next. So you have the option to what kind of virtual style that you want. If you want the GNOME or the Windows or the Linux, or I think this is also Mac, because Mac it's a little bit like the same. So you could click the launch right here. Okay, later. Okay, so next, okay, so the information right here, if you're using the virtual machine, it will be limited. So I think that's why. So you need to put it in the hardware. I think they don't have the, the script for the minimal type of operating system. That's why. Okay, let's click next. You can connect to the online accounts and link your computer via the Zorin Connect, and you have the software to download and find your software that you are wanted to, and some alternatives at the same time. So as you can see, Linux is actually, well, your Steam is actually Linux. So yeah, that's why it flickers before you play Counter-Strike or CS. Okay, so that's it. Let's close this one, and I'm just update my operating system, even it is so slow. That is why now they tell me that you need to use it in the bare metal, not in virtual machine. So that is the downside. Okay, so this is the initial boot. We have the welcome app, and let's proceed to our desktop UI after we update this one. Okay, let's wait to install everything. Okay, let's restart our computer first before we continue. Alright, so we are now in our desktop UI, which is the user interface, the graphical user interface of our desktop, which is the windowing application that we have. We have the start menu button right here, which is the menu, and we also have for the windows like the desktop 1, desktop 2, we could like move from one to another. And of course we also have the quick launch browser right here, the Brave browser, plus we have the files, which is the explorer for the Windows, and we have the software application center. And on the opposite side, right here on the right side, we have the time and date and the notification area, which has the internet connection. This is wired because this is using the virtual machine. We have the sound level and the power button. So we don't have any icons, but you could also put some icon shortcut right here. I want it clean. I don't want like so messy. Okay, and this is the desktop wallpaper. You can change the wallpaper by right clicking the mouse and then go to the change background, like Zorin right there. If you want to change like some landscape, you have different wallpapers to choose from. And of course, you're not only limited with this type of wallpaper, but also you could also change your wallpaper by clicking the add picture right here. In the folder of the picture, you could like install it via your USB or download via the browser. Okay, so if you have some pictures right here, you could like download it. Okay, example. Okay, let's just go to the web browser, which is the Brave browser. It's all the same. So this is the Brave browser. So let's escape that one. Dark mode. I like dark mode. Maybe later. Okay, let's finish that one. And of course, let's click right here on the search button or the search bar, and then let's look for some wallpapers. Free. Where's the letter P? Okay. So let's click that one. We have wallpapers right here, pixels at the same time if you wanted to. It's really up to you. For example, you just click the free wallpaper on the pixel. For example, let me see. I like this one. This is from my stock footage or stock pictures or stock photos from my pixels. So I just gonna click download it and just put it on your picture folder and save it. And then let's close this one. So we have new picture right here. We could like open it, and then voila, you could change it into that particular wallpaper. Of course, you also have some display settings right here for your setup. For example, if you want to change the resolution right here, you could like change it into your resolution. Yeah, so it depends to you. Okay, so you also have the light mode, dark mode, light right here, so you could turn it on, turn it off if you want to have the schedule. You know, it's really up to you. This is actually Linux. So let me see. Let's go to the settings tools right here. So Zorin appearance, we could like switch from one to another. For example, if you want to like Windows or like this one, see the name is changed, or you could like use like this, which is the genome type. So it is also used by the Chrome OS. So Chrome OS is also using genome desktop environment, and this is also a genome. So it's really up to you. But this one, you could like open this one as it will be like, you know, like hitting the super key. Okay, you could also change the themes right here if you want to have the dark mode, the effects at the same time if you want to have like the jelly mode, like, you know, the wobbly thing right there, or the cube. You also have the home if you want to have the icons right there, or the trash, or the mounted servers and your extra storage, your windows at the same time. If you want to click the super key, what will happen? It's really up to you. And even the title bar right here, if you want to move it on the other side or right here, or if you want to have different focus. Okay, so it's really up to you. So nice, right? Okay, so let me close that one. That is the appearance that we have. So let's go to the apps. So the apps right here on the menu, we have the accessory, we have clock right here, plus our weather editor. In our education, let's look into this one. So we have all the hangman games right here, the calibra at the same time, plus the math and all those stuff, that's the games. We also have other games like the G comprise, the mind test, and for the graphics we also have some graphic editors right here, the drawing, the GIMP manipulator program, and of course the internet, which is we have the Brave browser. For the connection of remote desktop, you could use this one. Of course, just be careful to let it use to others. For the office, we have the LibreOffice office suite from the calc, the draw, the impress, the math, and the writer. And for the programming, we have the builder right here, and Scratch. Of course, we have Scratch right here. Actually, Scratch is Linux, but it was now bought by Microsoft, so Microsoft is actually helping Linux for their application. And of course, they also have the category right here for the Audacity, for the recording and audio editing. So copying of your CD and DVD ROMs, you have the Brasero, like Nero. And the cheese is actually your webcam. Of course, you want to play the music. Well, you have the music score right here. Rhythm box, it's also for playing for your music collection. The sound recording is actually using your microphone or your Bluetooth microphone. It's up to you. And the video, which is probably a genome player. This is for your MP3s, moving picture. That's why we call it MP. But MP3 is now like for music. I don't know. Wrong. Very wrong. Okay, so we also have some settings right here. So settings right here, upgrade if you want to change it. Appearance. We also have the utilities right here. Okay, so let's go to the application center. So the application center, they are using the Genome Software Center. So if you want to install your programs, for example, let me see, if you want to install the anime, it's really up to you. And if you want to like put some like your work or your office, well, let's wait for the population to like install it, because this is the first time that we open. And you can also use the search bar, for example, OnlyOffice. So OnlyOffice, we have OnlyOffice right there, and if you want to install it, we only have the flat hub. So let's try to install it. So this is how you install right here in the Linux operating system. Either it will ask you for the password, and then you could like install it. But I think this one is a little bit like Windows, so it will just install it for you. Okay, so this OnlyOffice is free to use for Windows, Linux, and Mac operating system without any connection from the internet, so you could use this one offline. It is free and open source, which means you could use this one just like in your Windows Office. Okay, let's open this one. You could also look for this right here on the application on the Office. So it is probably in the bottom. Yes, it is in the bottom. So this is what I like right here in OnlyOffice. It is all in one. You don't have like separate application like LibreOffice. You could like edit even the PDF for your slideshow presentation, for your spreadsheet and documents all in one. And then you could also set the color, like if you want to make it dark, or fractional scaling like 100% or maybe 25%. I'll just gonna use the 100%. Let's restart that one so that it will take effect. And of course it is very, very cool. You could like change your username at the same time right here. Your language interface also right here. And you could also go online to your cloud. If you have the cloud for your OnlyOffice cloud, you could connect right here, plus all of this stuff right here. K Drive, Nextcloud, OwnCloud, you could connect it. Okay, plus you have your local right here for your documents. For example, if you already save from your download file or from your USB, you could like put it right here on the document or the download, and then you could open it. And of course you also have the local, which is on your computer. This is actually the templates. And for the online, the cloud, you could also use this one too. So for example, if you want to have some presentation, just click presentation for your PowerPoint. So who says Linux is hard? Well, try to look into this one. This is actually carbon copy of your Office suite in Windows. Well, some of your applications started from right here, like your VLC. Yes, your VLC comes from Linux. Your Google, all of your Google is actually comes from Linux. So who says it is so hard? Okay, so conclusion. Well, the installation is a little bit like okay. It's not too hard. It is not too hard. It feels like Windows, but you have the options to look like a Mac. And the Google, well, because Google is also GNOME. The downside is just only the performance in the virtual machine. It's a little bit heavy. Okay, the user experience will be okay. It is not too hard. You just gonna just like in Mac, you have to look into the application. It will be different, of course. Every OS is different, just like what we have in earlier days, that computers are not like all Windows. It is basically, we have Xerox, Xerox is one of the best graphical user interface. The windowing is very cool. It is one of the first, but it was heavily marketed by Microsoft Windows. Then they just dominate the whole market. But until now, they could not dominate the supercomputers. Supercomputers and servers are actually still with Linux, and including the space agency, we're still using the Linux. And not only space agency, but also the weather bureaus. The weather bureaus, we use Linux but integrated with Windows, so that the other non-Linux user can still use Linux to look into the weather, right? So how to shut down? Well, how to shut down, and you could like come right here on the right side and then click the click the power button right here. When you click the power button, you have the suspend, which means sleep, restart, of course restart, and power off, which means shut down, and log out, which means you have to log out from your account. You could also use the other end right here on the menu, Just like in Windows, just click right here on the power off. So you have the power off right here. Okay, so that's how you shut down the computer right here in Zorin OS Education 17.3. And if you have some question, feel free to ask me. Write it in the comments down below. This is Blair. Bye for now and see you in the next adventure. Ciao. Now let's click shutdown. Shutdown.